Two races left in the CORA Sunday Money Series, all leading up to a three-race chase for the Sunday Money Championship. Pride on the line, skill, ability, bragging rights, all that on the line, plus the extra $50 every week for winning the CORA Sunday Money Championship. We are live at South Boston Speedway here for the CORA Series. 2 to go before the championship. 1 week ago, we raced Indy cars at Watkins Glen. Tonight, we race Legends cars at South Boston Speedway. Good evening, race fans. You're watching the CORA Sunday Money Series live on ETV Live. Joe Cortez, Evan Pasocco, joining you live here in the booth, calling all the action from South Boston Speedway. Evan, going to be a lot of fun tonight watching tonight's race go. Totally different from what we saw 1 week ago.
And that could be the understatement of the night, and that's really what differentiates this CORA Sunday Monday Series from anything else that you'll find anywhere on iRace. You mentioned last week, Indy cars at Watkins Glen. Now we're on a 4/10 of a mile racetrack at South Boston Speedway and Legends cars, and it's this kind of racing that really tests a driver's skill because you're not running the same race car week in and week out. So in order to be the champion at the end of this, you really have to know your stuff.
It's the Hurley Property Management South Boston 150 in the Legends cars. An absolute 180 from what we were seeing last week and 180 from what we were seeing 3 weeks ago when they took to Charlotte in the late models for the CORA Charlotte 100. The Hurley Property Management South Boston 150 run like any other short track race. They had one big qualifying session. Your top three made it straight into the A main. Everyone else had to qualify through the three different heat races they had. The top three, each of the three heat races went straight to the big Sunday Money show. What you're going to see right now, a 50-lap last chance dash for the cash, dash to compete for the cash, I should say. Only three are going to walk away from this race. Your top three will walk away from this race. Let's give you an idea of what names you're going to hear tonight as we call for the A main in the Hurley Property Management South Boston 150. Garrett Denton, Michael Vandersalt, Gary Bauer made it for your top three qualifiers coming into the thing. Mark Arthur, Salacardi, Michael Churchma all made it through qualifier number one in the top three. They will make it straight to the show. In qualifier number two, it was Jake Griffin, Dale Smalley, and Michael Johnson making it all the way through the heat. They will make it to the big show as well. And from the heat number three, Galen Goodman, John Stevenson, and TJ Graves all have a chance of walking away with the Sunday prize here in the CORA Sunday Money Series. 4/10 of a lap in the Legends cars. Evan, what are you expecting tonight?
It's going to be a very interesting race. Something to note, somebody that is in this B main right here that needs to get into the top three, the 48 car of Dallas Miracle, third in the championship standings. He's going to be looking to get to that A main if he wants any shot at this thing, try to even things up before the points are reset and go to that chase. There's lots of heavy hitters in here for the B main. Over 13 drivers for only 3 spots. It should be pretty wild. Doing 20 miles, which is the equivalency of 50 laps. Again, at this 4/10 mile racetrack, should be a good one.
4/10 of a mile going into South Boston High Banks. It's going to make for a lot of fun watching these guys run these little tiny cars around this little tiny track. Should make for some very entertaining driving tonight. So the last chance qualifier, you're going to catch that next right here. All that's going to lead up to our A main feature tonight. 100 laps around the South Boston Speedway. Totally different than what we see. It's going to be a much smaller crowd than what we see for these guys, Evan. But again, I mean, the CORA Sunday Money Series, all about testing driver ability, all about testing driver knowledge of the cars and how to make these cars work and how to get around each of these different tracks. So the guy who can navigate each different car type the best and can navigate each of these different tracks they run, that's going to be the champion at the end of the season.
And definitely right now sitting up atop of the championship standings, Dale Smalley. Dale Smalley, a defending champion in this series as well. He has a 50-point lead. Obviously, we have a 3-race chase when it all comes down to it. We're not quite done after tonight. We're going to go to Daytona in about 2 weeks' time for trucks at Daytona with the CORA Daytona 250. Then we hit the chase. So it's going to be interesting to see how they wrap things up. But definitely one guy to keep an eye on is that man up there at the top of the points, Dale Smalley. He knows what he's doing. But again, lots of heavy hitters in this race, which is being the B main. 13 drivers, again, only 3 transfer positions. Not really a lot of time. 50 laps seems like a lot, but when they're running lap times around 16, 17 seconds, it's going to be over quickly. Cautions are on, so it's going to be interesting to see how you qualify. If you qualify at the back of the field, if you're going to be able to get up through the field quick enough to be in contention for that third place position.
Dale Smalley, Michael Churchma, Gary Bauer, Galen Gidman, Michael E. Johnson, all in your top 10 in points, all qualified to get into the A main. So now all that's left to do is find out who will be our last three from the last chance qualifier in just a moment. Let's go ahead and take it down trackside for CORA's pre-race ceremonies.
Laps. Jimmy Johnson chooses the outside lane for the start. Front low, cars around and stacked up into the wall. He came from Carolina, was a driver's son, sitting on the flatbed watching daddy run. His daddy wasn't afraid to give him a rub. He pushed him up high and then he died like a son. Front low, little Dale said, why you drive so mean? He said, that ain't a car, that's a racing machine with just sun and money. He's a calm, just watch him go. Sun and money. It does a bad boy boogie on the road.
Good evening, race fans. CORA's Sunday Money Series is on the air. We are here live on LSR TV, ETV Live, and CORA's Sunday Money Series are being brought to you by Kohl's, Wheelborg Truck Center, Redwood Falls, Minnesota. Berkey, Painting and Sandblasting, Redwood Falls, Minnesota, where you get quality work for a great price. Hurley Property Maintenance, Kingston, Ontario. Mark Competition Karting, New Jersey. Dale Smalley Drywall, Sophia, South Carolina. Small Town Computers, Vermontville, Michigan. Mark Montaneri's Sim Racing Setup Analyzer at teamnpr.org. CORA's drivers have competed in one of three qualifiers held each week prior to a Sunday Money event. Those drivers that qualify for Sunday Money will be competing for over $2,000 in cash this season. Now let's go trackside for the pre-race ceremony.
We ask that you all rise, and gentlemen, please remove your caps, as Reverend Dusty Dent gives our pre-race invocation.
Dear Lord, let us pray. We want to thank you, Lord, for all we have. Dear Lord, we ask you that you protect those men and women who serve us both here and abroad. And oh Lord, we give thanks to those who have served us and have given that ultimate sacrifice that we may enjoy the liberties that we have today. And oh Lord, we ask you that you give these drivers the skill and the good internet connection so that we may be given a race like no other. Lord, we ask you that our racing give us the green-white checkers that we so deserve, and that we may enjoy an exciting race to the finish we all want to see. Lord, may you heighten the senses and protect these drivers so that they can give us a three-wide, door-banging race to the checker flag tonight. And can we all say amen? And I'll say amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as we proudly introduce Jaden Berkey to sing our national anthem.
Glorious and free, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. bright does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And now at this time, the five sons of our CEO, James Brown, Alex, Andrew, Nick, Cody, and Ethan, will deliver the four most famous words in all of automotive racing. Good luck, drivers. To all those watching, it's time to sit back, relax, and strap it down. Let's go Sunday Money Racing, CORA style.
And that does it for our pre-race ceremonies here in the CORA, the Championship Online Racing Association. Find out more about them at cora-racing.com. Evan Basoko, 50 laps of mayhem about to start. Let's go ahead and take you through the qualifying order for tonight's race. Everett Lane will start on top of the last chance qualifier, turning at a time of 16.68 seconds. Outside of him, Joel Wood in the 79 starts second.
Taking to the grid, P3 is going to be the number 18 of Jay Anderson inside on row 2. Outside him, the 4th starting position, the 06 of Daniel Miller.
Ben Manning will start on the inside of row number 3. Outside of him, Michael Whitlock starts 6th.
Travis Brown's going to take number 33 off the grid, position number 7. P8, the 48 of Dallas Miracle.
Dallas Miracle second in points. He definitely needs a big finish tonight if he wants to try to hold on to second in points or make a move for the top of the pole. James Brown in the 000 machine gets down in 9th. Kerry Cleaver in the 45 starts 10th.
Outside in that inside of row number 6, outside the top 10, 11th starting position, going to go to the 90 of Mark McFadden, and outside him, the number 9 of David Parks.
James Wilkins, the last one to take time. He will be the 13th car on this to start this B main, this last chance qualifier. He will start in the 13th position, all the way at the back of the field. Shotgun to everything, waiting on the pace car to go. Should be a short parade lap before we go to green flag racing. Joining us now in the booth, as always, every week here at CORA Racing, is your administrator, Alan Larson. And Alan, I know you guys go out of your way to pick the races and tracks that are going to be challenging for the drivers, but you couldn't have picked one more challenging, especially considering last week it was the Indy cars at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, that's what I love about this series, is the diversity you need to have to drive. You know, everything every week, you never know what's gonna come in next. It makes it real interesting.
That's certainly one way to put it. Hang with us. We will talk to you throughout the evening tonight, as we do every week here with CORA Racing. Pace car making that last parade, that one short parade lap. We should go green flag racing next time by. When the pace car gets off, it'll be Everett Lane and Joel Wood, both looking to get into the last chance qualifier. Will they be able to? Or will we find out as we start. Green flag gonna fly after one more parade lap. So let me ask this real quick to you, Alan, before we go back to green flag racing in 3/4 of a lap. Real quick, whose idea was it to go road racing to super short track Saturday night racing?
That's the mastermind behind CORA. That's James Brown. He is the CEO, president, and he's the one that he's the one that has it all.
Pace car now down pit road. We will find out more about this as we get ready. 50 laps starts now. They cross the line. It's too wide through turn number 1. Everett Lane's got the advantage. They hold tight, though. Too wide all the way through the field. They look like they're driving in formation. The one of Everett Lane out in no man's land. Battle for second between the 18 and 79.
Caution flag out on the racetrack early. The number 9 of David Parks up and over, I do believe, in turn number 3. And a caution flag going to come out early here at the South Boston Speedway after making contact. Taking a look at right there at the replay with the E1 going into the corner. Actually, trouble in front of him and ended up getting collected in that incident. Actually, I do believe Kerry Cleaver in the number, I want to say 45 machine, get it into the inside wall. Actually, no, another car behind him, the 00 of James Brown, getting into the wall there, into the corner, and that 9 car really had nowhere to go, got caught. He had a car in front of him blocking his view, the 90 of Mark McFadden, and just getting collected in that incident, going up and over, not the way to start your B main.
The ETV curse early for president and CEO of CORA. James Brown hits the wall, then gets drilled hard by David Parks in the 9 machine. David Parks will pull it behind the garage. He is done for the night. 00, I think he's done as well. Alan, you couldn't have called that one better.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, so are we going to see a demotion from you now for jinxing the boss on that one?
Oh no, I'm just a peon here anyway. I'm just the promotions and recruiting for CORA. I mean, I talk to you guys a lot, and I do a lot of the recruiting and a lot of the other things. But pretty much this whole thing is put together by CORA, and the staff over there are just absolutely phenomenal. Kevin McCarthy, Terry Hurley, Gordon Berkey. I'm the peon anyway, so I don't think I can get any farther down on the ladder than I am.
We are accepting resumes in case you're curious. You can just leave it at the door on your way out. We'll be fine. I'll take care of it. Trouble strikes early on lap number 1. We are parade lapping now. They're currently scoring lap 5 of 50. Everett Lane still out in front. Joel Wood now in second. Jay Anderson in third. And Evan, this gives us a chance to talk about these little Legends cars. They handle a whole lot differently. Almost a handful, especially on a very fast short track like this. Think of, to me, it's like combining a go-kart with a USAC Sprint.
It's very interesting. I mean, I was taking a look at the drivers when they were doing warm-up here before we got going. They really got to throw it in, and they're searching for grip the entire time. Even if you let off at the same point every time, you're not guaranteed. You'll see them working at the wheel a little bit, trying to find that grip, and it really keeps the excitement up in this race.
Pace car getting ready to get on back down to pit road. Pace car is gone. Now it's Everett Lane's field once again, and Everett Lane gets the jump he had on the first start of the race. A second restart attempt, and Everett Lane up front, and Joel Wood now immediately on his tail. Daniel Miller, Jay Anderson battling for third. Now it's a battle for fourth place as the 67 and 64 do battle.
Yeah, definitely lots of contact back there. The 64, Michael Whitlock into the back of the 67. Now he has a little bit of bad corner speed. Take a look at the 33, Travis Brown right behind him. P8 last time by the stripe. He's working on the inside of the 48. He's got to run down the 64. He's going to help him into the corner, trying to get himself on that inside lane. Not afraid to use the bumpers.
Not afraid to use those Nerf bars at all in front. Single file now, all the way back to that 64 car. That's Michael Whitlock behind him. Travis Brown in the 33 machine, battling with Dallas Miracle. Dallas needs to get into this A main if he wants to try to hold on to his points lead, or the second in points, and position himself in a good place for the chase in only 1.5 weeks time now. Dallas Miracle running an 8 in the 48 machine. He looks a little bit lost out there, or he's just biding time. In any event, 40 laps to go when they cross the start-finish line. Dallas Miracle needs to figure something out.
And there's not a lot of time in this race. Again, 50 laps at the equivalency to 20 miles. And again, at a 4/10 mile racetrack such as the South Boston Speedway. But you really got to keep an eye on that third place position. Obviously, you want to go for the win because you can pick up a couple more spots going into the game main. But Everett D. Lane obviously sitting number 1 in that number 1 car. Joel Wood second, Daniel Miller third. They have a little bit of a gap back to that fourth place car, the 18 of Jay Anderson. He's about 0.6 of a second off the back bumper of that 06 of Miller right now, so that's really the key position to look at. So you don't necessarily have to get to victory lane. You just want to be looking at that top 3, and that's why we just have to keep an eye on that position as the night progresses, as Jay Anderson tries to shave some time off of that 06.
We talked about Dallas Miracle just a moment ago. Everett Lane also, there's trouble behind him. Looks like the one car spinning around. That is the 36. It looks like might have gone around into the wall. Check that, the 79 of Joel Wood got straight into the wall, got turned around, and I believe we might have a yellow flag.
Definitely do believe the caution flag is out. That was Joel Wood driving in second. We saw an aggressive move by the 06 of Daniel Miller, caught that bar on the back of the end of that race car and turned it. head on into that inside wall, and that car is crab walking pretty bad now as the field works under the caution flag here. Tough break for that 79, who was in a transfer position and is now pretty much out of this race of no fault of his own.
So Joel Wood, he will end up outside of the money race tonight. Tough break, but there's always next week. Always a guaranteed prize here in the Sunday Money Series tonight if they make it through the A main and ultimately get through. They're looking at a $50 payout. Second place 30, third place 20, fourth place 15, five place 10th, all the way down to 10th place. If you're at least 10th place, you will at least walk away with your initial investment back, your $5, plus $5 for the pole and $5 for the safest driver on the field. Considering we're going to have a 15-car field tonight, you have a pretty good chance of walking away with a little bit of money.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you got to take a look. That's the whole thing. Race on Sunday, go to the bank on Monday. One of the coolest parts, obviously, with the CORA, the Championship Online Racing Association. They qualify 3 nights a week. You get a shot at the Sunday Money race. Drivers pay the entry fee. And then, again, all the fees, it's a percentage of the fees that go up are for grabs coming up in the A main later on tonight. And, so they're racing for some good amounts of money. Plus, when you take a look at that championship, also more down the line, you got to love that paycheck going home Monday if you're some of these guys that are really good at adapting to different car track combinations and really tests your driver skill and patience, as you touched on earlier.
2 to go, the tower telling each of the drivers out here. Alan, we just talked about it a second ago. It's not just about winning on Sunday and going to the bank on Monday. There's 4 races left in the season, and the champion will walk away with a nice little chunk of change as well.
Yeah, that's right. The champion will walk away with a $150 check all to himself.
And now, are there any other ancillary prizes we should know about, or is it all about winning the championship?
It's all about winning the championship in the CORA series here.
As it always tends to be during the weekends. Race on Sunday, go to the bank on Monday. They're double filing one more lap before we're back to green flag racing. It'll be Everett Lane and the 18 of Jay Anderson on the front row. Behind them, it looks like it'll be Ben Manning and Travis Brown, the 67 and the 33 in row number 2. Then behind them, Michael Whitlock and Kerry Cleaver round out the field. Field's starting to drop like flies. Pace car is in, back to green flag racing on lap 20. 31 laps to go, and Everett Lane looks like he's in trouble. He might let the 18 around him. Yes, he does, and now he's rapidly falling out of a transfer spot.
All the way back to P4s at number 1 of Everett Lane on the apron, and he's around down by the pit lane race leader with trouble after coming back to the green flag. No caution yet, and he's going to go all the way to the tail end of the lead lap. Major turn of events here for the number 1. Meanwhile, side by side for the 6th spot, the 45 of Kerry Cleaver is on top of the number 64 of Michael Whitlock. Whitlock in 5th, trying to hold his ground on the back.
55, 45, 64 now making contact. 45 gets in 64. 64 is around, and they are both way high. No yellow flag yet, I believe. The 64 of Michael Whitlock. Caution is out, I'm told. Now the number 1 almost gets into the number 15, or number 19. I'm sorry, 64 of Whitlock. Can't read those numbers upside down. Caution flag is now out as the 164 all making contact.
Something happened with that 1 of Everett D. Lane, got into 1 and 2, could not hang on, spun it out, and then spun it out trying to avoid that 64 car of Whitlock being stopped in the middle of the racetrack. And a lot went down there in the lap that we got under the green flag. The dominant car of the night, again, the 1 of Everett D. Lane, fastest in qualifying. Know he has a fast car. Now he's sitting 9th, a long way to go forward. And then you got to talk about, obviously, that contact that we saw that sent both those drivers into the inside wall. Looks like a case of some guys just getting mixed up with each other, racing hard. And then once you catch that wall down the front straightaway, which I believe the 45 car got into the wall down the front straightaway, and then that was Kerry Cleaver. Then we saw the 64 on his inside. Whitlock maybe moved up a little bit to try to squeeze him at the same time as the 45 kind of bounced off that wall, and that's what ended up turning him into the wall, but nonetheless under our 3rd caution of the race.
And now look who's up to position number 4. Dallas Miracles, 2nd in points, is now just on the outside looking in of a transfer spot. Another notable is Maritime iRacing League regular Mark McFadden showing up now in position number 5. So potential for all around and lots of storylines to follow. Yellow should be lights off next time around. Jay Anderson and Ben Manning will be on the front row, but Dallas Miracle has been strong on the high side. Is he going to find his way into a transfer spot?
It's going to be interesting to see if a driver can indeed make that top side work. Again, it's all about searching for grip. It's possible if you're on that inside lane, you can't get back to the gas as quickly as you want because you're not going to be able to go all the way up to the wall. It's going to be interesting, but it's definitely a kind of race that really is more driver than race car. All these race cars are even, for the most part, in this. And I mean, the way you drive this racetrack, the way that you have to drive it and attack this racetrack, be aggressive and commit yourself in those corners, it really puts an emphasis on how the drivers are going to show their own line, take their own little spin on it, and how that's really going to benefit them in the long run.
So Jay Anderson, Ben Manning will start on the front row. Travis Brown, Dallas Miracle behind him. Daniel Miller, Mark McFadden. When we go back to green flag racing in just half a lap, and it's still anybody's race. Less than 25 to go. Half of the B main. The last chance qualifier already over, and it's still anything can happen in the next handful of laps. The 18 takes the call to action. Green flag flies, and now here comes the 48 of Dallas Miracle looking to make it go 3 wide. No, he's going to instead fall back and wait for one of these guys to make a mistake. Going through 1 and 2, now under fire from the 06 machine of Daniel Miller. Miller side by side with Miracle. Caution out.
Caution flag back out again at the South Boston Speedway. Trouble on the restart. Several cars getting into the wall, including the number 1 of Everett Lane making contact with the 6 machine, or rather the 9, I do believe, of David Parks down that backstretch, getting into the wall. Both those cars getting turned around, taking a look at the replay there. So quickly back under the caution flag at Sobo, the South Boston Speedway. And for guys that are looking for a green flag run, this is not what they want to see. But however, that number 1 of Everett D. Lane trying to play survival again. We knew he had a fast car, get spun, go to the back of the field after having troubles on an earlier restart, and now getting collected, adding insult to injury for a night that was looking good for that number 1 team.
Alan Larson, this is the only time we've seen these guys in the Legends, and it will be the only time this season that we will see them in the Legends cars. Was that a little bit a purposeful move there on the part of the schedule makers?
I believe so. Yeah, James likes to mix it up a little bit. He likes to next season we don't have the Legends cars in the schedule, but for this season he put them in there just to add a little bit of different, a little bit of diversity.
When the schedule is being made, because I know we've got another season coming up as soon as this one ends on December 15th. When the season ends, how much consideration is taken of driver feedback? How much of complaints, hey, that we like this, we didn't like this, is taken into consideration when the schedule is made for the next season?
That's a question I'm going to let you pose to James Brown. I want to get James Brown up here sometime during the race and let you ask him some questions.
Assuming he's still talking to us after we jinxed him.
That's right.
We will have to find out more about that. You'll want to keep an eye on them for the next 4 Sundays next week. They go to Daytona for 250 miles in the trucks. Then it begins the 3-race chase for the Cup. December 1st, it's the Coles Weekboro Wellbore Truck Center Charlotte 200 back in the trucks by the Berkey's painting and sandblasting Richmond 150. That's in the Indy cars at Richmond, followed by the season finale, the trucks once again for the Barks Competition Karting Talladega 101. If the Border Wars weren't an idea of what you're going to see when these guys take to a super speedway, if that was any indication what we're going to see, then we're going to be in for a great season finale here with Championship Online Racing Association. They are doubled up. We are going to go back to green flag racing on lap 34. About 17 laps to go. Jay Anderson, Ben Manning back on the front row. Green flag flies. Jay Anderson is gone. And now the 33 of Travis Brown looking to get in a transfer spot.
67 of Ben Manning not having the restart he wanted. That's going to allow the 33 to get there. They're going to be side by side into turn number 3. The 3 is going to throw it in there, try to pick up that spot. He will. And now the race is on for the transfer position. The 67 of Ben Manning has it. And the 06 of Daniel Miller wants it. Sitting 3rd and 4th right now. But the 06 can't keep it on that yellow line. And Manning starts to pull away.
Dallas Miracle now in 5th in the 48 machine. He's still trying to fight his way forward, but no dice. He needs to get a good restart, or at least a restart back and forth if he wants to get in the move. It might help him a little bit with the 06 and 67 battling in front of him. Mark McFadden, or check that, Daniel Miller trying to get around Ben Manning in front of him. Manning won't let him have it. All three of those drivers hugging that yellow line. Caution out once again.
The one of Everett D. Lane is again inside of the inside wall, and that's going to bring out another caution at the South Boston Speedway. More contact going on after the caution flag flies. Taking a look at the replay, it happened with contact between him and the 00 of James Brown, who you guys conveniently mentioned on that on the caution break before. 00 having trouble spinning up in front of the one of Everett D. Lane. D. Lane up into the catch fencing, and another car getting involved in that incident as well, being the 45 of Kerry Cleaver. So again, the rough night for the number 1 of Everett D. Lane continues tonight at South Boston.
Even harder night for CORA President and CEO James Brown, getting behind the wheel of this legend car and just can't find a handle on it. He's down on pit road. His night is done. Everett Lane also showing a lot of frustration out there. Everett Lane is currently in a chase spot right now. Currently scored in the top 10. Everett Lane 8th in points. And with guys already in the chase like Michael Johnson, like Galen Gidman, Gary Bauer, Michael Churchma, Dale Smalley, that is not going to help his cause to stay in there. Good news for him, though, the guys behind him, Ben Manning, Jay Anderson, have not made the show yet. The bad news on that is they are threatening to, with Jay Anderson currently in first, Ben Manning third, Dallas Miracle in the same boat as Everett Lane. They need either of those drivers need to find a way to get in the transfer, and it may not happen.
And definitely the wave around going to come this time by, being the number 64 of Michael Whitlock. He's going to return to the lead lap, which will put 9 cars on the lead lap, leaving James Wilkins, Kerry Cleaver, James Brown, and David Parks all laps down right now, pretty much out of contention. But you mentioned they're going for the top 3. There's still a lot that can happen. You think 2 cars get together, Miracle could end up in second. Obviously, you mentioned Everett D. Lane in the number 1 machine, sitting P8 right now as the field comes to 1 to go. I mean, a lot can happen here, but the anticipation and the nervousness, you could say the butterflies in the stomach of that number 1 and the number 48 teams, because they know what's on the line, and they don't have a lot of time to get it done.
Everett Lane will remain on the lead lap. He is in 8th. Dallas Miracle 5th. Jay Anderson, Ben Manning 1st and 3rd respectively. Less than a half a lap to go before we're back to green flag racing. It'll be 9 laps left in the last chance qualifier before they go back, and still anything can happen and anything will happen here at the Sobo South Boston Speedway. Pace car out of the way. It's once again back in the hands of these little cars. 18 to 33 back. Restarted. 18 not getting the shot he wanted. Here comes the 67 of Ben Manning. Daniel Miller now looking in the mix as well. And wait, don't look now, but here comes the 48 of Dallas Miracle. He's starting to look low. He wants to try to get a position in the worst way possible.
Side by side for the second position, which means that the 06 of Daniel Miller has to choose who to go with, because that's going to be the battle for third right now. The 06 gets inside. Now they're side by side for third, which is the transfer spot. Going into 3. Miller wants it. He's trying to get around the number 33 machine. He's going to do it. Travis Brown now dropping back to P4 and now sees himself as the 48 of Miracle spins.
48 of Miracle spins. The number 90 of Mark McFadden both spin. Now Dallas Miracle on pit road. Mark McFadden gets back out there. Yellow flag. No, not out there. Now trouble. More trouble on the track. It's going to be the 33 of Travis Brown. He was one of the guys battling for that transfer position. He gets spun out right in the middle of turns 3 and 4, and that will bring out the caution flag on lap 45. 6 laps to go. We should have at least one more restart. But scary moments if you're one of those potential chasers on the outside looking in.
48 of Miracle spun down to the pit lane, no caution, and then we saw an intense battle for the transfer spot, the number 1 of Everett Lane. We know that he has been looking for that top 3, trying to get through, gave the boot to the number 33 of Travis Brown and sent him around in the corner and evidently putting us under the caution flag. Will we see another restart? If we do not, taking a look at the running order as they go right now, contact actually occurring under the caution flag. The 33 of Travis Brown is beating on the back bumper of that number 1 of Everett Lane. So trying to see how they scoring updates right now, but the top 3 would be Jay Anderson, Ben Manning, and Daniel Miller in that 06, who we saw him battle a lot for that transfer spot. If we do not go back to the green flag, those will be the top 3, but it's going to be close here, taking a look at how many laps remain.
Dallas Miracle in the 48 second points. He is now officially 1 lap down. So unless we see a miracle, the 48 Miracle will be out for the main show for the 2nd week in a row. Jay Anderson, Ben Manning will restart first and second, and right now they control their fate. Everett Lane is the first one on the outside looking in, and then there's Joel Wood as well trying to get back into the transfer spot. Only a handful of cars remain. Only 8 cars remain on the lead lap. Only 3 can make it in. They are going to go green. It looks like next time by, it's going to be a 1-lap showdown. 0.4 of a mile will decide who makes it to the big show.
That's going to be interesting because 3 transfer spots. That means that those 2 drivers that are side by side on row number 2 are going to be looking over at each other and knowing what is on the line, the chance of upwards $50 going into the A-main after this. So let's see how this thing works out. The wave around is going to come by. James Wilkins, the number 3. We're coming to the 1 to go, so it's going to be a 1-lap shootout, I do believe.
0.4 of a mile will decide who makes it. Right now, it's Anderson, Manning, and Miller. Everett Lane starts 4th. Joel Wood starts 5th. Both those drivers looking to solidify their point in the chase. Pace car wants nothing to do with it. He gets out of the way. Green flag flies. 1 lap to go.
The caution flag has been thrown. Confusion at the front of the pack as race admin throws the caution. They wreck behind them now. The 06 of Daniel Miller, who was originally in a transfer spot, gets off the gas for the caution and gets run over and dumped. Lots of confusion on the racetrack. However, the caution flag being thrown by the race officials, coming to the white flag, causing confusion, and some drivers getting black flags. It's going to take a little bit to sort this thing out, as now the number 1 of Everett Lane is showing up in the 3rd spot. However, Daniel Miller checked up to serve and obey that caution flag that flew. He's being shown 7th, so they got to get this sorted out.
So let's go ahead and go back. Laura, if we can go back and show the replay real quick of the restart. Let's go ahead and walk through this entire situation as it stands. If the caution flag came out before these cars crossed the line, then in the sim, the race would be over and they'd have to do 1 more parade lap. If they came out after they crossed the line, then the sim would technically let them race before they went back and ended the race. So it really, the first question, technically speaking, is when did the yellow flag come out? Then the second question is which order are they going to take when we go to the A main in just a moment. Right now, it's the 18 and 67 and the 06. If you look at that starting grid before the replay, if you look at it afterwards, it would be the 18 and 67 and 1.
The very good thing about this track is that I don't know if we can get an overhead shot of the restart, but the pace car is running alongside our lead lap cars, and you see the lights come back on that pace car before the field does get to that start-finish line to throw that white flag in the air. The lights are on that pace car, and the way that they cross that line is the correct order, because that's the order that they would have come back to get the green flag in, and it was the 18 of Jay Anderson, the 57 car, I do believe, also actually the 67 of Ben Manning, and then the 06. The 06 car should be in there as well, being Daniel Miller. However, Daniel Miller checked up at a 2 to serve the caution flag that some drivers didn't necessarily get the memo possibly, and that's the discussion. And again, so right now the sim is showing Travis Bound, Mark McFred, and James Wilkins. However, those were not the top 3 when the caution flew, and the caution flag was out before the drivers did take that white flag. So those top 3 drivers coming to that restart should be those drivers going on to the A main.
So you've offered the question, what would you do for a Klondike bar? Tonight, the question might turn into, what would you do for $50 in the Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series? That number 18, the 67, the 06, Jay Anderson, Ben Manning, and Daniel Miller on our screens might be the qualifiers moving forward. That is especially unofficial right this moment. We will have to wait for the administrators to sort it all out for us so we can figure out who's going on to the big show and have a shot at that $50 purse.
Yeah, again, very interesting situation. I think that we were waiting on Michael Whitlock or somebody who got the wave around right before that. James Wilkins was the car that was getting a wave around. When we were going back to the green flag, that number 3 car was not caught back up to the field, which caused the race admins to throw the caution as the 3 of Wilkins was not with the pack. He was actually coming at a turn number 2. But so the caution flag was rethrown by the race official before the white flag, which would end the race. And then somehow the 3 Wilkins ends up passing everybody under the caution, and the confusion is being shown third. So a lot of confusion with the caution coming out for the 3 of James Wilkins, who was the lucky dog coming to that last restart. Throws the caution, confusion. Taking a look at the replay now, but the top 3 should be, if we're going by the fact that the caution lights were on before the field did take that white flag, the 18, 57, and 06 are the correct top 3 drivers.
So obviously a lot of questions need to be answered before we take the green flag for the next 100 laps, the A main here in the Hurley Property Management 150 with the CORA Sunday Money Series at South Boston. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, let the administrators do their job, and when we come back, we should have the final 3 qualifiers together for tonight's A main here in South Boston. Stay tuned, race fans. You are watching ETV Live's live coverage of the Hurley Property Management 150 with the CORA Sunday Money Series at South Boston.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR iRacing. Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Last chance qualifier in the books here at South Boston Speedway. The Hurley Property Management 150 about to get to the A main function of the race. CORA Administrator Alan Larson now joining us here in the booth. Alan, that was by and large one of the strangest restarts I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there. We're going to have to go back and look at some replays, but we did determine that Daniel Miller, Jay Anderson, and who was the other one? Ben Manning are going to be the three that transferred to the A main.
So the A main transfers are in this order. Jay Anderson finishing the race in front. Ben Manning second. Daniel Miller finishing out in the top three. Evan, lots of storylines to note here. Jay Anderson, Ben Manning, both currently sitting in chase positions when we go chasing in 1.5 weeks' time. Two guys that won't be making the big show, Dallas Miracle for the second week in a row, and Everett Lane.
Yeah, that's really one thing that you got to look at is in the end of all that, where they shuffled out to. And with the trouble really that we saw everything thrown at those guys that really, we took an eye on it when we went green or for the beginning of the race. We said these guys, they're really going to be looking to get their way in. And at the end of the night, those were the guys that, if anything, had experienced the most troubles, you could say. And it's really tough for those guys. And I mean, it was a really crazy race. We've seen drivers, they could have wrecked in the opening laps and they could have won this thing, especially the way it all sorted out. But I do believe, in my opinion, the officials making the right call and allowing those cars, being the 18, the 67, and the 06, to advance to this A main. So I guess the action's only going to pick up from here.
100 laps around this very short, very fast South Boston Speedway in the Hurley Property Management 150. When we come back, it'll be warm-up time for the big show. $50 on the line and points towards that championship chase. Stay tuned, race fans. The A feature in the Hurley Property Management 150 at South Boston Speedway coming up.
Network. Join 5,000 plus other listeners where you can hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
Qualifying just getting underway. We'll be there in a moment. We'll show you the results in just a moment. We are now qualifying for the A main in the Hurley Property Management 150, part of the CORA Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series. $50 on the line, as well as ancillary prizes and points towards that championship. Joe Cortez, Evan Pisoko, and CORA Administrator Alan Larson calling all the action for you here at South Boston Speedway. Evan, we saw a lot of hard racing, a lot of fun racing in the B main. I've got a feeling, add a few drivers and 100 laps to that, it's only gonna create a whole lot more fun.
Yeah, you got to take a look again. The track itself, 0.4 of a mile long. We have 100 laps, which means we're going to be going to 40 miles tonight in the A main. You got to take a look at the 69. Dale Smalley entering tonight as your points leader, second place driver in points, Michael Churchma. The 88 is here. He enters tonight 50 points out, but we saw the troubles with Dallas Miracle. Miracle entering tonight 98 points back after not making it to the A main last week as well. Not going to do it this week and sees his hopes slowly fading away. He still has that chase for the cup coming up. so you don't have to worry about that top 12. He sure will be there unless he has some major issues coming up here, but I do believe he's pretty much locked in, but not what he was looking for because he wants to have as much of an advantage going into that as possible. You have to take a look at some of the guys in this race. Lots of fast drivers: Sal Accardi, TJ Graves, Dale Smalley, Michael Johnson, Michael Churchma. I mean, lots and lots. Gary Bauer, you have Daniel Miller. There are lots and lots of fast race cars in this race. You pretty much double the size of the field, double the laps. It's just going to double the excitement here at the South Boston Speedway. Should be a good one. Coming to that checkered flag and $50 at the end of the night.
$50 at the end of the night. Let's go ahead and walk you through where the points stand right now. It is Dale Smalley at the top of the board. Michael Churchma 50 points behind. Dallas Miracle third. Gary Bauer fourth. Nathan Sedlak fifth. Galen Gidman, Michael Johnson, Everett Lane, Ben Manning, and Jay Anderson rounding out your top 10. So big names not making the A main tonight. Nathan Sedlak not in the show. Dallas Miracle didn't qualify from the B main into the A main. Everett Lane also didn't qualify in. So 3 drivers in your top 10 at points not going to be a factor tonight, which could hurt them a little bit even after the reset.
Yeah, definitely, and that's really what you got to keep an eye on. Again, still lots of good racing to go to close out season number 3 here with CORA Sunday Money Series. So anything's still possible. Again, 12 drivers going to go into only 3 races. As you compare that to, say, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, where it's 10 races of the championship, only 3 races. You really can't afford a mistake of any sort. You can't really have that mulligan race. You're going to want to knock off top 5s, and this is kind of the warm-up. Again, the only time that we're going to see the legends. We haven't seen them yet this season. We're not going to see them up until the end of the season. So it'll be interesting to see, again, right now going through qualifying, lots of fast drivers putting down times. Right now, the pole time is a 16.54. And TJ Graves holding the fastest time in the practice session of a 16.489. So we know that these guys are fast. They've been here practicing. They've been listening in. Those drivers that got the bind to this A main, they've been listening in on the results from the B main, and it's about go time.
Joining us in the booth here tonight before we go to the A main is your Chief Operating Officer of Championship Online Racing Association, James Brown. Before we talk about the league, James, let's talk about that B main. As soon as a certain broadcaster mentioned your name, it was straight into the wall. I'm sure not how you want to spend your $5 tonight.
No, it's not. Thanks, Evan.
That wasn't just me, too. Joe's going to try to point that I think Joe and Alan had a good conversation going on, too, for the record.
Okay.
I'll just pass that along to them, too.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Championship Online Racing Association, the Sunday Money Series, by and far one of the most unique leagues out there. $3 to show, $2 to show up to try to qualify in, $3 to make the race unless you win your qualifier flat out. And every week something different. How did this all come together?
It all started a long time ago on the PS3, and we evolved over here to iRacing, and with all the available cars. First of all, I loved the old IROC series where they raced the different cars, and I just wanted to use everything. I mean, this was so new to me. I wanted to use everything available to me to set this up, and that's why the diversity in the cars and the tracks.
You see very unique shifts throughout the entire season. You go from the trucks to the late models to the Indy cars. You go from oval tracks to road tracks, back to oval tracks. Different styles, different driving ability, and then, night and day difference. Last week, it was the Indy cars at the Glen. This week, it's Legends cars at South Boston. How does the schedule come together every year?
Good question. I think ahead. Looking for the ultimate iRacer, I guess. There's someone that can drive all the cars, all the different tracks, and trying to get the most talented driver to be the champion. And he's got to be able to drive all the tracks and all the cars.
So every season you have these very back and forth, these very stochastic almost shifts every week. Does driver input go into it at all? Do you guys talk about what worked and what didn't every year?
Oh, by all means. Yeah, now our season 4 schedule, we're only going to run the trucks, the B cars, the Indy cars, and we'll be running them in blocks of 4.
So this will be the last season then of truly different style of racing every Sunday night.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's going to be a big shift for each of the drivers out there, and different shift for how they operate everything. But that being said, you're 3 seasons in. This season arguably your most successful. In season 4, we're looking to have that block of 4 in each of those different cars. Should make for a lot of fun racing moving forward.
Yeah, thank you. And I would say that the first 3 seasons were learning for the staff, for the drivers, and I foresee season 4 to be our step out year.
Season 4 starting at, I'm sure, as soon as the holidays are over. When does that start? How can people get more information?
Well, they can get more information on our website at CORA-racing.com. All of our names and phone numbers are on the staff page, as well as emails. And the schedule's up there for next season. And our website is just full of, it's a plethora of information.
CORA-racing.com, the website for Championship Online Racing Association. James Brown, your CEO here at making everything work, everything happen. Before we go, Alan Larson has been doing a lot of work with us in the booth these past couple weeks. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to any of his work or any of his of what he's done, but he might have a potential as a broadcaster. Would you be opposed if we did like a co-op with him? If we shared him?
Oh, not at all. Alan is a workhorse, and he's a mule. He's a lot of where we are today is in thanks to Alan. He's really got a passion for this.
Alan Larson making everything happen. We'll hear from him later on in the race. James Brown, your CEO here at CORA. James, thanks for taking the time to join us here in the booth. Hopefully we'll see you back on track more sooner rather than later with better endings.
Thanks a lot, Joe, and thank you to ETV and Laura and everybody. Thanks.
James Brown, your CEO here at Championship Online Racing Association. Let's go ahead and take it down trackside for our national anthem and opening ceremonies of the A Main.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The Cactus Cuties with our national anthem and the virtual fund Thunderbirds, as always, with the flyover. Going to be 16 cars taking the green flag. When we go green flag racing in 2 laps, let's go ahead and take you down the Hurley Property Management 150 starting lineup for the A main. Michael Vandesal will start on the front row in the 16.540 qualifying time. Walks away with $5 for starting on the pole. Garrett Denton in the 99 starts second.
Got to take a look at row number 2, the 07 of Gary Bauer, the 18 of Jay Anderson, positions 3 and 4, teammates of your pole sitter.
TJ Graves, who qualified in through one of the heats, he will start on position number 5. Michael Johnson in the 78 starts 6th.
Points leader and defending champion, the 69 of Dale Small is going to take to the grid. Position 7 outside him, the 17 of Mark Arthur.
Don Stephenson will start in position number 9 in the 47 machine, qualifying from heat number 3. Michael Churchman in the 88 starts 10th, qualifying from heat number 2.
Inside row number 6, the 04 of Galen Gidman is going to roll to the grid. Position 11, 12th place. Outside him, the 06 of Daniel Miller.
Sal Accardi coming in from qualifier number 1. He going to start 13th. Ben Manning in the 67 starts 14th. James Wilkins, one of your last chance qualifiers, ends up getting in 15th. Jake Griffin should round out the field of 16. 16 cars that take the green flag when we go racing. 100 laps to go. 40 miles around the South Boston Speedway, and anything can happen, as we saw in the last chance qualifier.
Definitely, if you're familiar with ETV Live, then you're going to be familiar with the 5th place car, the 50 TJ Graves Mr. Excitement from the USTRA Triple Crown stuff. Still on a short track and a little bit of a different car, so let's see if he can work his magic like he does, or like he used to every week here in and out on ETV Live on those short tracks and try to look up front. He's starting P5. Other than that, a lot of great drivers in this field. It's stacked of 16. Pace car down pit road, and the green flag is out.
83 of Michael Vandersal picks up his $5 for sitting on the pole, but he's not going to be able to hold that position for much longer. As look, the 99 of Garrett Denton already on the outside, challenging for the lead. Denton under fire from Vandesal. They are side by side. Meanwhile, behind them, almost 3 wide between the 07, the 50, and the 18.
Taking a look back up front now, the 83 car is going to assert himself into that second position as the 99 of Garrett Denton gets around him for position number 1. The battle is on for 4th. The 50 of TJ Graves working on the inside of the 18 of Jay Anderson, this time up and off the corner. He's going to get that spot, now looks to the inside and throws it in there hard on the inside of the 007 car of Gary Bauer. So the 50 of TJ Graves trying to make up ground early.
No prize for the hard charger tonight, but Michael Churchman still looking to be that hard charger. He was in 10th, now up to 7th in the 88 machine. Now hunting around. Wait, we got a car around, though. Yellow flag out. And it looks like Michael Churchman's run was cut a little short by a car spinning on the front stretch.
And definitely that is going to bring out the caution flag. Taking a look at the replay here, caution number 1 coming out for the 07 machine early on in the going. That's Gary Bauer having trouble. We saw him up at the front of the field side by side working against TJ Graves. Just clipped that wall on the front straightaway in heavy contact with the inside wall, and that's going to put a dampen on the 07's night as he goes all the way back to the pack of cars.
Gary Bauer having a hard hit out there. That is not going to work for him. Gary Bauer in the 07 machine. He did qualify in through the qualifying process. He was one of the top 3 fast drivers when they qualified earlier today. So that's got to be a huge hit, not just for his opportunity tonight, but for his ego as well. Knowing that you had such a good car, then to have it go out like that, that's got to be a blow.
It's definitely a tough break. Again, he qualified 3rd. We saw him up there 3rd fastest in the practice session, which lasted a lot longer, over an hour for some drivers who hopped in really early. So he had lots of time on this racetrack. He was really testing the waters, getting to know his race car. He had a fast car. He just kind of got shuffled back when we went to the green flag, and that's why you saw him going from that 3rd spot to being side by side for about 4th or 5th. Maybe didn't get the start that he wanted and ended up setting himself up for that side by side move, which he really didn't want to be in that kind of position early on into going. Again, 100 laps at the South Boston Speedway, a long way to go. Not what he was looking for, and that's going to put a dampen on his night as that 07 car sits down in the pits trying to get repairs.
Alan Larson, let's talk about the qualifying process. Obviously, you do have the qualifiers throughout the week, but tonight you also had a very special method to qualify in here at South Boston.
Yeah, we took the top three. We took the top three, and then we took the top three out of 3 different heat races.
So the top 3 coming from the qualifying process, top 3 from the 3 heat races, and then the last chance qualifier you saw live here at ETV Live. How come they let you have the boombox? Who gave Alan Larson the boombox this week? Evan, was that you?
That wasn't me.
We got to talk to these interns real quick about appropriate booth behavior.
Get used to it.
All right, so when we go back to Green Flag Racing in just half a lap, it will be Garrett Denton in the 80-99 machine. He will start on the pole. Michael Vandesal as well out front, the 50 and 18 behind him, the numbers 69 and 88 behind them as well. Race car off the pit road, green flag flies. Here we go racing. The number 899 of Garrett Denton in front, the 83 right behind him, and now it's a battle for the second as the 83 getting passed by the 50 of TJ Graves.
Lots of beating and banging on that restart. Drivers checking up and trying to get into position, but when it's all said and done, the 99 machine is going to be asserted up there side by side with the 88 car now. That is Michael Churchman on the bottom with the 88. Up top, actually, he's above the 69 rather of Smalley, clearing Smalley now, so going to hang on to that 5th spot. Still a lot of action going on around the 8th place car, the 17 of Mark Arthur, as he is stuck on that top side with the 78 below him.
Now single file through position number 5. Churchma who started in 10th, now all the way up to a 5th place position. Dale Smalley, your points leader, in 6th. Battle behind him is brewing as the 78 fighting with the 17 side by side. Mark Arthur on the outside, and that's going to be the 78 of Michael E. Johnson on the inside, side by side for position number 7 and 8. Mark Arthur has the advantage, gets the pass on the outside. Michael Johnson now trying to figure out how he's going to hold off Daniel Miller in the 06 and Galen Gidman in the 04.
How about that 04 of Galen Gidman going to the inside of the 06 of Miller? Daniel Miller on that top was trying to work his way around the 78 of Michael Johnson. Can't get that done, and now the 04 opened up the door for him, and he capitalized, and now he is going to go around the 06 of Miller. He's going to lead by the stripe this time. Bobbitt does not quite have him cleared. They continue to battle for 9th, and this is going to allow the 39 of Salacardi to start to creep into the picture behind these guys as they continue to work already 15 laps into this race. They continue to battle back there around that 10th spot.
15 done. Garrett Denton still in the lead. Mr. Excitement himself. TJ Graves in the 50. Out in second. Michael Vandesal in the 83 third. Jake Anderson in the 18 fourth. And Michael Churchma digging to a top 5 position right now. Points leader Dale Smalley 6th. And it looks like battle's going to be brewing now around that number 9 position. That's Galen Gidman. He's trying to get around the 78 of Michael E. Johnson. No dice this time by, but don't look now behind him. Daniel Miller in the 06. Also fighting behind him, Salacardi and Jake Griffin side by side. The 97 low, the 39 high, and still fighting off of the turn and coming to the start-finish line.
The 97 made a very methodical move there. Jake Griffin trying to get around the 39 car, gets right up to the back bumper and stepped out at the last second in corner entry to try to pick that up. Going to drop back a little bit and try to work his way back up. All these drivers, again, you mentioned the 78 of Michael Johnson. Behind them, 8th on back, really close to each other, so you can't afford an error. You're going to easily lose 5 or 6 positions based on how everything's going. However, the battle starts to pick up front for the race lead. The 99 of Garrett Denton is starting to be reeled in slowly but surely by the 50 of TJ Graves with that Mr. Excitement paint scheme on his Legends race car. 37 car round.
That is the second caution for the night, and I'm hearing it's around the 7 round. No caution. No caution. So as soon as you say that, another car goes around. The 6 is around on the start-finish line, and that should bring out the caution flag for the second time tonight. Daniel Miller, no, it will not bring out the caution flag. We are still racing.
The caution flag going to come out now, a little bit delayed there. But it is going to come out for trouble on the racetrack with another fast driver. The 06 machine of Daniel Miller, I do believe, getting into the wall, having some trouble here. Just lost it, didn't get in the wall. Was just really racing hard, trying to keep up with the 04 machine in front of him. And just couldn't not hang on to that race car and lost it coming off of the corner and is going to get into that inside wall. and that's going to put us under caution number 2 on the night.
Looking back at the replay, he did bend that rear Nerf bar, making light contact with the wall, enough to get that Nerf bar on the back end, bent up just a little bit. So caution looks like it was brought out in abundance of caution, no pun intended.
Yeah, it was really confusing. We saw another driver go around. The caution flag did not come out because that race car spun and was not on the immediate racing surface. And then obviously we see the 06 of Miller go around not shortly after. I guess that made gave the flagman just as much of a headache as that was giving us, trying to keep tabs on everything that was going on around the racetrack right now. Gary Bauer in the 07 machine sitting last right now on the racetrack, 16th position, is going to be the receiver of the Lucky Dog machine as he's going to go around the field. And an interesting turn of events here, the 97 machine of Jake Griffin, who took to the grid 16th. I was wondering, I thought 3 times 5 was going to be somewhere in the range of 15, not 16 cars, and a 97 of Jake Griffin is going to be parked by race officials as he did not qualify into the A main.
So Jake Griffin will go ahead and pull it behind the wall for the evening. Alan, was that just a sneaky driver trying to get past security guards?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that's exactly the case.
I've heard of photobombing in Victory Lane, but that's a new one. Just sneaking onto the racetrack.
Maybe we should try that sometime, Alan, or Evan.
We could do it.
That's,
I don't think they'd like it. Alan will tell us everywhere but CORA. We can do it.
That's right. Any place but in CORA. But yeah, that's exactly why he was asked to park, because he did not qualify and he tried to sneak one in on us there.
Security teams doing their job, and that's why we pay them well. Pace car about to get off. It's Garrett Denton versus Mr. Excitement, TJ Graves, as the pace car makes its way down pit road. It's green flag racing. Garrett Denton once again with the jump, and now with a quarter of the race over, he's that much closer to a $50 payday. Mr. Excitement himself in second, and they are still side by side through sixth.
Trying to figure that out side by side for the third place car teammates. The 83 on the inside, that's Micah Vandersal, trying to hold off the 18 of Anderson. Anderson going to draw back and now has trouble because the 18 of Michael Churchma trying to continuously work his way through the field after qualifying 10th. He's now battling for that 4th position right now, still side by side in the 3.
Michael Churchma has dug his way from the back of the top 10. Now he's in up to 4th. He gets the big pass on the 18 machine of Jay Anderson. Jay Anderson not going to take it laying down, though. Trying the crossover does not work. Michael Churchman knows where he's at in points, and he is already ready to make a statement here in CORA at the South Boston Speedway. Michael Churchman up to 4th. Jay Anderson 5th, and now look who's getting a run. Mark Arthur in the 17 is 6th. 18 goes around. 18 goes around in front of the field on the backstretch. Caution is out.
The caution flag going to fly for the number 18 of Jay Anderson hard into the wall. You mentioned that he was not going to take that, he wasn't going to roll over for that position, and really tried to drive it hard to keep up on the back bumper of Churchma and maybe challenge to try to get back into that 4th spot as he was running 5th at the time, and just lost it off the corner. And that's the second time we've seen a driver just overdrive exit, exit rather. And again, the 18 now, Jay Anderson into the wall after having a strong night, qualifying in the top 5. Now has some damage on his race car as well.
Tough break for him, but that's just a product of hard racing here at South Boston. The Hurley Property Management 150, part of the CORA Sunday Money Series. Now, Alan, it's not just about the B and A mains tonight. 3 chances for these guys to qualify through the week to make the $50, the big show, and walk away with potentially $50 in hand.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We qualify every Monday night, Wednesday night, and Saturday night, and if you make the top 10, then you're eligible to come and race with us on Sunday night and take a chance at that big check.
$2 to take your shot at qualifying. If you don't make it in through one of the races, you can always make it in on one of the other 2 races during the week. And then if you win, you don't have to pay your way in. You just qualify in without winning. It's an extra $3. But again, you walk away with at least you have a chance to walk away with at least $50 if you qualify in the poll. Gets your money back right there. And if you're the safest driver, you get your money back right there as well.
Yes, absolutely. And we also have another way you can actually get into Sunday Money completely free. We run a feeder series called the Fastlane Short Track Series that if you win, you get a free entry into a qualifier and $10. But if you win one of them and then you win your qualifier, you get into Sunday Money without ever paying a dime and have a chance at the money. So, I mean, there's just all kinds of way to win some money around here.
Everybody giving money away except the bosses. Got to work for it, as they keep trying to tell me. So one more parade lap left to go. It'll be Garrett Denton, TJ Graves back up front. Evan, Mr. Excitement, has definitely lived up to his namesake tonight.
It definitely. I've been able to take a look at him week in, week out when ETV covering the USTRA short track series that wrapped up just a while ago. He's good on short tracks. I haven't seen him in a legend car before, but he's doing work up to P2 to talk to him a little bit before the race. He says he's looking forward to it. Let's see what he can do. Ford Racing Mustang pace car down pit road. The green flag about to come back out, and Garrett Denton leads us back to the green flag. TJ Graves immediately down to the bottom to protect P2.
Now it's down to position number 3, and here comes Michael Churchma on the outside, the 88, the 83 underneath him. That's Michael Van de Sal. He was the fastest guy in qualifying, still wants to prove he's the fastest legend machine out here. Churchma continues to fight on the outside. Churchma, one of the few cars that can use the outside groove here at South Boston to pass in this legend car. Still fighting side by side. Third, not decided yet.
Trying to figure it out now. The 83 is going to get that spot, so the 88 of Churchman back to 4th, and Van der Sal going to move up into position number 3. Everybody trying to single file things out as they continue to try to sort themselves out on the restart. No side-by-side battles on the racetrack just quite yet, but a lot of bumper-to-bumper racing as we work our way through turns number 3 and 4 and off to the front straightaway, coming to take lap 39 of 100. So we're almost at the halfway point at the South Boston Speedway, and TJ Graves is not letting that 99 out of his sight.
Meanwhile, the third position has been decided. Michael Van de Sal will end up in position number 3. Michael Churchma in 4th, and now it looks like a little bit of trouble behind them is one of the cars having electrical problems out there. Mark Arthur takes away that position. He will be in 5th. Galen Gidman now trying to make a move underneath the 04, trying to get around the 17. Not happening this time by the 17. Mark Arthur holds on. Galen Gidman now making a move on the inside. The battle is for position number 4.
04 has that spot, the preferred line on the inside. Can the 17 of Arthur hang on to protect his position off of turn number 2? You see the electrical issues for the 17 machine still running all right. Almost contact behind them. The 04 of Galen Gidman's going to get the advantage off 4. Can't quite clear him. Should be able to do it here in 1 and move that 04 now up into position at number 5. And a caution flag back out, including your points leader, the 69 of Dale Smalley is in it. After getting collected in an incident involving the 06 machine, I do believe, of Daniel Miller on the front straightaway, making contact with the right rear tire of the 47 machine of Don Stephenson, getting sideways, coming up into the wall, and our points leader going head on into the outside fence.
Nerf bars and tires coming into play here at South Boston to bring out the third caution flag of the evening. And Alan, we always talk about the uniqueness of CORA and the fact that they run different cars, but this is, I think, something unintentional, something that they don't think about every week. With every different car style comes a new set of challenges. Last week it was open wheel racing and the speed and aerodynamics that come with those Indy cars. With these guys, it's managing their cars and around other traffic, especially when you consider the Nerf bars in front and back and the wide fenders of the Legends cars.
Yeah, these cars are definitely a little bit of a different animal to try and handle, and I love the difference. To be able to handle the big cars on the big tracks, the little cars on the little tracks, even some of the big cars on the little tracks. I mean, that's what makes this series so unique.
And what makes this race particularly unique is this is the last time we're going to see the CORA Championship drivers in the Legends cars anytime soon. The CEO talking to us earlier in the show, breaking the news that the Legends cars were not coming back in next season.
No, we've decided to go to the popularity vote, and we had a meeting with the drivers, and what do they want to run, what are they going to keep coming back for, and everybody pretty much went by a vote of popularity, and we're going to stick with them 4 cars in blocks of 4: the Indy cars, the trucks, the B cars, and the Gen 6. So
So, guys, whoever wins tonight's race isn't just going to walk away with $50. They're going to walk away with a little bit of bragging rights as well. They're going to walk away saying, what, last time we did this, who was the man?
That's right. It's like Jeff Gordon can say at North Wilkesboro, right?
Exactly. Then now you're thinking on it. One lap left to go. The driver's starting to double up. One car in the pits. That's the 69 of Dale Smalley. After being involved in that incident, he will go to the very back of the field in position number 15. But back up front, it is once again Garrett Denton versus Mr. Excitement himself, Dave Graves. The first racing Ford Mustang pace car down pit road. And now it's Mr. Excitement versus Mr. Stability, Garrett Denton. Gets the jump once again. They are side by side for position number 1.
Graves had it the advantage that time by the start-finish line. He's going to get the run off of turn number 2 on the top side. Can't quite clear the 99. Denton's going to battle back through turns number 3 and 4 and makes it stick. He will lead this time by the stripe, but TJ Graves, Mr. Excitement, still knocking on the door, is now going to shuffle into line and take a look at the crossover, but holds off for now as they single file up behind him for the 3rd spot and throughout the field.
Tried that crossover down on the low line. Didn't work. Is he going to try on the high side? Nope. He's going to stay behind. There's still plenty of racing left to go. Cross flags will be next time by. We're currently scoring lap 50. That will be officially halfway when we cross the start-finish line. Garrett Denton still up front. TJ Graves second. Michael Vandesal, your fastest qualifier in the first qualifying set, is now getting pushed from Michael Churchma. Michael Churchma may have pushed it a little too hard. Got in the wall coming off of going into turns 1 and 2. Goes in the wall again. 33 behind him, also having trouble.
39 car sideways. That's Sal Accardi. Accardi's going to now battle with the 88 of Churchma. 39 sideways again and into the inside wall. So trouble for Sal Accardi. Going to go from P7 all the way back to a behind 10th position now as the 06 is going to go around him. That's a lap car, however, of Daniel Miller. So Salacardi searching for the grip here after the green flag. Going to lose several positions on the racetrack, and we're side by side now with the 67 of Ben Manning and the 88 of Michael Churchma. He's going to get through, and now contact more as the 39 of Accardi is now going to come back up across the racetrack into the wall, and he could not hang on to it any longer and back under caution.
And the guy who lost the most out of that one was, once again, your points leader, Dale Smalley. Dale Smalley, the 69, got a piece of the number 39 of Sal Accardi, and that is going to cost him. He's already used his reset out here that's allowed in CORA racing rules, and so now he's going to try to figure out how to make that car work with that damage on it.
Yeah, Cardi lost it. I saw him drop all the way back from about 6th, 7th spot to 13th. Last car on the lead lap, just about. He was running around 10th when this incident happened. He was on the inside and actually got into a lap car, being the 06 machine. Bounced off him, was on the apron, and when he tried to overcorrect it, collected the 47 machine, as well as, you mentioned, our points leader, 69 of Smalley, getting a piece of that as well.
So let's go ahead and let these guys sort it out, get calmed down for the second half of the race. You are watching the Hurley Property Management 150, part of the Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series, live from South Boston on ETV Live television. Stay tuned, race fans, more after this.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 in the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
Back to green flag racing here at South Boston, and up front, still nothing's changed. Garrett Denton, TJ Graves, first and second. Battle down is for third. Galen Gidman looking for money. Mark Arthur on the outside, or looking at both those drivers in front of hhim. Now he's trying to get around the 0-4 machine of Gidman to get into that fourth place position. He does it successfully. Gidman drops to fifth position. Mark Arthur fourth. And Michael Vandesal, your fastest qualifier in the initial qualifying series, up to position number 3.
Bumper to bumper for the race lead. The 50 of TJ Graves, Mr. Excitement, going through turn number 1 and 2, is on the back bumper to the 99 of Garrett Denton, this time in the 3, not letting him out of his sights and applying the pressure, trying to look for a run on corner exit to make a move for the lead, but this time by the stripe, the 99 is going to hang on by about a 1 car length lead right now over Mr. Excitement. Side by side behind them. Position 4 is up for grabs. The 17 of Mark Arthur is on the top lane, and Galen Gidman in the 04 wants it, working that inside line this time, coming off of turn number 4. The 04 is going to get the exit that he wants and move Gidman up to 4th.
Gidman up to 4th and not happy there. He's looking for more if he can get it, but he's got a long mountain to climb, long way to go between him and your top 3. Garrett Denton running away with this race. TJ Graves on his back bumper. Michael Vandesal in 3rd. Galen Gidman 4th. Mark Arthur in 5th. Everybody else single file all the way back to position number 12 as the 88 of Churchma trying to get back up that mountain, see if he can get back in front of this field. Daniel Miller in the 06 right behind him. The car is spinning inside. That's Michael E. Johnson, one of your potential chasers out there as well. He just spun out onto pit road. No yellow flag out. He's going to just jump right back on and be on his way. James Wilkins in the 3 also looked like a piece of that. They are both back up on the track and away. The 69 of Smalley still having problems.
It's rush hour traffic from 7th on back. The 67 of Ben Manning is leading a big group of race cars, including Gary Bowner, Don Stephenson, Michael Churchma, Daniel Miller, and more. Sal Accardi going to go around the lap car of the 69 of Dale Smalley. But again, you got to take a look at these guys that are bumper to bumper, beating and banging, trying to pick up spots. You can't afford to overdrive a corner or you're going to lose a spot and lose several, as Churchman now tries to assert his position down low on the inside of the 47 of Stephenson in the 3.
And Churchma was one of those cars running strong all night, started in the 10th place position, worked his way all the way up to 4th before troubles on the track forced him into the wall and back through the field. Now he's looking for his second win out there on the back half of this race. You see him battling side by side with the 47 of Don Stephenson. Don Stephenson came in from the 3rd qualifying race, and now he's going to give position away to 2 other cars. The 06 of Daniel Miller, who is in that last chance qualifier, and the 39 is Sal Accardi, who's trying to pick up some position as well. 88 now under fire from the 06 for that 10th place position.
That's what I touched on. You can't make a mistake, overdrive it, because with all those guys right on your back bumper, you're going to lose several spots, and that's exactly what we saw. And now they continue to battle, trying to sort things out. The 06 of Daniel Miller's under attack. The 39 of Sal Accardi trying to make something work. Accardi has the 47 of Stephenson, who just lost several positions, taking a look in the wings, but nobody really making an aggressive move just quite yet, as the lead up front starts to lengthen out as Garrett Denton opens up about a half-second lead over TJ Graves.
Half-second at a short track might as well be an eternity. Garrett Denton up front, TJ Graves second, Michael Vandesal now in 3rd, Galen Gidman in a time zone of his own. Sounds like got trouble on track.
Caution flag gonna fly again on the racetrack, gonna put us under our 6th caution, I do believe, of the night. And we're pacing again, taking a look. The 47 machine of Don Stephenson. We saw him shuffle back, having trouble losing about 4-3-5 positions, or whatever you want to call it, in those last few laps. Had trouble getting into turn number 1, pushed up the racetrack just the slightest bit. We know that his race car was having handling issues. Getting into the 39 of Sal Accardi. Accardi able to hang on, and points leader already a lap down. The 69 of Dale Smalley is going to go around trying to avoid that. So again, another tough night and another incident involving the 69 of Dale Smalley. Not the night that he's been looking for, if you take into consideration that Michael Churchma, second in points, is sitting up there in the top 10.
You know, but when you look at that replay, I think the number 69 of Smalley did the right thing, though. Instead of trying to drive around it or drive through it, instead he just hit the brakes hard, he spun out in front of it, and was able to save the car. He knows that he doesn't have another reset available to him, so he's just got to go ahead and try to save the gear he's got if he wants to make do and make another run later in the race. 2 laps down, but he should get the lucky dog this time by Alan Larson. Dale Smalley, one of the core drivers here in CORA, one of the key drivers here. He is already a 2-time champion, and if you look at the point standings, he's trying to work number 3.
Yeah, he definitely is. To come in here and give him a run for his money, though, that's for sure, because nobody likes a 5-time, right?
Yeah, ask Jimmy Johnson about that one. Let's not talk about today's racing. Let's talk about the only race that matters here at South Boston Speedway. Dale Smalley looking to make it 5 consecutive championships, but he's got a very deep talent pool behind him. Michael Churchma, Dallas Miracle, all these drivers, trying to dethrone the king.
Yeah, but we definitely need somebody to come in here and dethrone him.
Pace car is going to turn the lights off. One more parade lap left to go. We will go back to green flag racing, scoring lap 78, officially 3/4 of the way through here in the Hurley Property Management 150. Garrett Denton, TJ Graves on top. Michael Van Der Salt, Galen Kidman second. Mark Arthur, Jay Anderson third, row number 3. Gary Bauer and Ben Manning, row number 4. Michael Churchma, Daniel Miller, the last group in the money positions. Pace car out of the way. Green flag flies one more time. Garrett Denton refusing to give it up. That first place position, but TJ Graves might just steal it this time by.
Graves looking to make the pass after coming off right after the restart, because it looks like in the long green flag runs, the 99 of Denton maybe has a slight advantage, so TJ Graves going to hang tough, about 1 car length off, throwing it into turn number 1, trying to make something work. Meanwhile, a big pack of cars behind them all battling for the 4th spot. You get the 04 of Galen Goodman under attack from the 17 of Mark Arthur as they single file out behind them, and a caution flag back out quickly at the South Boston Speedway as more trouble on the racetrack, finding the 06 of Daniel Miller and the 3 car involved also of James Wilkins.
So the 06, the 39, you see the replay right now. It looks like the 06 once again may have just overdrove it. Got a great run going in. May not have saw the 39 of Salicardi underneath him. And both those drivers once again getting together in trouble. This 3 machine also there as well, but pulling a similar move as you saw your points leader do earlier. Instead of trying to drive through the wreck, saves the car by just spinning out, hitting the brakes and spinning out. Something you can do in these Legends cars you maybe couldn't do in a full-size Cup car or a truck or even an Indy car.
And this incident really started brewing in about turns number 1 and 2. The 39 of Salicardi was side-by-side battling with the 67 of Ben Manning. 39, we saw him on the apron there coming down the back straightaway. He was below or on that bottom checkered white line or dashed white line, and that's why you saw the 06 of Daniel Miller thinking that he can make an aggressive move. But if you take a look approaching that corner, that you see really that the 39 gets sideways coming up to that, and he moves up the racetrack right as that 06 starts to dive down into the corner to try to make his aggressive move, and evidently getting together. But again, you mentioned the 3 car doing a similar move, just getting on the brakes and trying to stay out of the wreck, and he kept it off everything, so mission successful.
So Garrett Denton, who took the only lead change of the night, has not relented. He's looking to walk away with $50. The second place payout $30, third place $20, fourth place $15, fifth place $10, all the way down to 10th place, who will at least walk away with their fees paid for. Plus fees paid for pole and for the pole sitter and the safest driver. And there's also a position payout for a lottery position predetermined at the beginning of the race. Alan, what is our lucky lottery finisher tonight?
Honestly, I wasn't privy to that information tonight. I wasn't in the meeting when that number was announced. But yes, that's what we do. We draw a random number before qualifying, and the driver that qualifies in that position and the driver that finishes in that position both get their entry fees paid. They both get their $5 back.
So 2 drivers at least going to walk away with $5, 14 positions paid out every week here at the CORA Sunday Money Series. Pace car lights are off. The first racing Ford Mustang about to go back down pit road. Garrett Denton, TJ Graves. Can Mr. Excitement take it this time by? They cross the line. 16 laps left to go. Garrett Denton, if he can't give it up, he might take it away. Oh, the 05 now in trouble. Big trouble behind him. Cars everywhere. Many cars involved. The 4, the 88, the 06, the 18, the 39, the 69, the 78. Big trouble. All started with the 50 of TJ Graves. All of us just at a loss for words at what we saw. Laura, let's take another look at that replay. The 50 of TJ Graves. This is an unusual mistake from Mr. Excitement himself, overdriving it off of 2, trying to make that transition back off the apron, gets spun, or either he spins himself around or gets help from the 83 machine, and that's when big carnage happens behind him. At least 9-10 cars involved. That's 2/3 of your field walking away with some damage out there. We talk about the big one, but usually that's a super speedways, not something here like South Boston.
Yeah, no kidding on that. I mean, I know TJ Graves, in my opinion, he did not have the car to get around that 99 once they got some laps on him. He just could not make the move. Maybe they were even, but he didn't have a car to get around him, and he really wanted to capitalize coming right off of that green flag and gave that 99 a shot, trying to move him up out of the groove, try to get around him, or trying to let him know that he was there, and evidently, get a little bit of a wiggle, go sideways in front of the field 04, 18, 07, 47 car. I don't know if we can get an onboard, but the 47 of Don Stephenson making a very, very impressive move to zigzag his way through that. But I guess the big one strikes at South Boston, but a great piece of driving as you take a look. What a move by the 47.
47 may have just saved his night and walked away with a little bit of money in his pocket. If he were to finish in 4th, that might be the safe move of the night and a $15 finish for Don Stephenson. So Don might be looking at a little bit of money as a result of saving that car through the field. Bigger heartbreak for TJ Graves, though, as he goes from walking away with $30 to now, if the race finished right now, he'd only walk away with 7. That's a long fall.
And he's also going to receive an EOL penalty for being the cause of the caution, so that's going to put him to the back of the lead lap. And there's just over 10 laps to go this time by the start-finish line. We will indeed take 10 to go. The field doubling up as Dale Smalley, or actually we're going to wait for the wave around to come on by, but we're going to be coming to the green flag here. Ken Stephenson in the 47 capitalize after a great move. We're going to find out, actually, race officials are going to hold off on this restart and wait for the wave round to come on by. So the green flag's going to come out. I do believe we'll see the caution come back out shortly. And there it is right there. So we're going to wait till we get that lead, or the one car one lap down to get back to the lead lap. And then we'll go back to green flag racing. Not a lot of laps left. We see a quick caution. We might see a shootout at the finish. But again, no green-white checkers. So if you're that race leader right now, the 99 of Denton, dominant car all night long. He really just wants to nail this restart.
He wants to nail this restart. This could be the very last one. As you just mentioned, there is no green-white checkered finish. There is no overdrive finish in the iRacing simulations. So once the race is over, once the yellow flag comes out at this track with about, say, 4 to go, race is done, the field is locked, and that is all she wrote. We will go back to racing with about 6 to 7 laps to go. So 1 yellow flag, 1 misstep by any driver, and the race will, for all intents and purposes, be over. We finished under yellow flag racing. Alan, I know this always entertains me. In your pre-race ceremonies, every time we have the pre-race ceremonies with you guys, the pastor, when they give the opening prayer, the opening invocation. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. The invocation. It always entertains me. He always asks for a green-white checkered finish in iRacing.
Yeah, that's one thing that he's been begging for a long time. That's Reverend Dusty Dent. That's actually our Chief Operations Officer, Kevin McCarthy, that made that. Yeah, he's been begging for a green-white checker in iRacing for quite some time, ever since he's been on the sim, actually.
But maybe his prayers will be answered one day sooner rather than later. They are not doubling up yet. If they double up next time by, that means they'll have 5 laps to go when we go back to green flag racing. So this will, for all intents and purposes, be their green-white checker.
This is really going to decide the race. Again, you have to give credit to that 99 team, qualifying in second, taking the lead early, and really not looking back. Just such a stellar job by him to stay out front. Great effort being put in by the 50 of TJ Graves as we do get the 2 to go till we come to the green flag of the field. I do believe he's going to loop around and try to re-catch the pace car to possibly solve some looping and scoring issues, which is why that we have not gone back to green yet. So as they figure that out, 99 just needs to nail this restart. That being said, normally P1 is the safest position on the racetrack, but from what we saw with the aggressive move with TJ Graves, we don't know if that is, because we can see the 83 of Vandersal, who has a strong car, qualified on the pole, really trying to make an aggressive move, but we're going to get 1 to green as they have figured out the issues there with that Ford First Racing Mustang pace car, and we're getting ready for that shootout to the checkered flag. 3 to go if we make it that far.
So apparently sending the interns down to play with the pace car was a very, very bad idea tonight. It will be officially a green-white checkered finish. Only one attempt at the green-white checkered finish, as Garrett Denton, Michael Vandesal will find it out for $50 in all the glory here at South Boston. Green flag flies, and once again, Garrett Denton on the lead. 83 now under fire from 17. Mark Arthur wants to walk away with some cash. Dale Smalley now in the mix one more time. Trouble behind him. Stalicardi in trouble. There, we'll keep with the race up front.
He's going to go around, no caution. The race is on for that number 1 position. The 99 of Denton up front. Will the 17 of Mark Arthur now sitting P2, make an aggressive move. The white flag is going to be out this next time by. Now the battle's going to be on for second. Here comes the 83 of Vandersal going into the corner. The 17 continuing to have electrical issues. He's going to get a shot from the 83. The white flag in the air.
White flag in the air. Race is officially over after this. 17 still having problems. 83 wants to get around him, and then there's a 47 of Don Stevenson. He's starting to try the outside aggressively. Can he make the pass? All eyes up front. Garrett Denton wins. The Hurley's out. The Hurley Property Management South Boston 150.
They wreck across
it's
the line.
wrecking all over the place. Back behind them. Carnage on the track as they finish it out. Garrett Denton, unofficially your winner and walking away with $50. Mark Arthur, unofficially second. Michael Vandesal, your top qualifier, third. Don Stevenson, fourth. And Dale Smalley, your points leader, rounding out the top 5.
The 17 of Mark Arthur was not about to take his foot off of that accelerator. He was under attack by the 83 of Vandersal, 4 P2 coming out of 4, sideways, nearly got in the wall, sideways at the line, beat the 83 about half a car length and split it out, and they all piled in after the race. Great finish. We made it to the checkered flag, and the dominant car of the night, the 99 of Garrett Denton, is going to get a well-deserved victory at the South Boston Speedway.
Well-deserved victory, the only lead change of the night, and I don't want to just revisit this incident that happened behind them. 17, as soon as he got past the line, he was wiggling all the way up to the line. He finally figured out a way to do it, but ends up spinning out, causing several other cars behind him to spin out as well, including the 04, the 06 machine, both who already had tough troubles tonight. But I guess it's one of those things. This is the only time they're going to run this car. They might as well get every dollar's worth out of it.
Yeah, definitely. And props on all the drivers for getting to that green flag, because we saw Stalicardi have trouble. He spun down off of the racing surface, so the caution flag did not fly for that. They were 3 wide back in the middle of the pack when we came to the green flag for a split moment going into turn number 1. However, they made it to the checkered flag, and it was a great night of racing for sure. We saw beating and banging hard racing and a well-deserved victory, as well as all those top finishers line up at the start-finish line.
We will talk to your top 3 when we come back. Garrett Denton, your big winner here in the CORA Sunday Money Series. We'll talk to him and your top 3 finishers, go over the race, and look forward to what we have to see in 1 week's time when we go racing next. Garrett Denton, your winner. We'll talk to him next in the post-race show.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines! Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 in the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
Garrett Denton surviving 100 laps of mayhem here at South Boston. Your big winner in the Hurley Property Management 150, part of the Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series, walking away with the big $50 prize. Mark Arthur in second. Michael Vandesal, your top qualifier in the initial qualifying rounds. He will finish third. Don Stevenson fourth. Points leader Dalen Smalley in fifth. Galen Kidman rounds out the top six. Daniel Miller seventh. Jay Anderson eighth. Ben Manning ninth. TJ Graves, Mr. Excitement himself, almost was your winner. He ends up going to finish in the 10th place position, but he'll get his money back for at least showing up. Michael E. Johnson, James Wilkins, Michael Churchma, Sal Accardi, your top 15. Your entire field of 15, I should say, here tonight at South Boston Speedway. Let's go ahead and take it down trackside to our very own Evan Pisoko, caught up with your winner, Garrett Denton.
And that's right, he's climbing out of the race car right now on the front straightaway, and a sharp-looking number 99 is going to end up in victory lane. Garrett, dominant car for the 100 laps at the South Boston Speedway. How'd you get the victory lane?
Spent a lot of time this week working on the setup with my teammate Mark Arthur. Can't thank him enough for sticking with me and helping out, and wouldn't be here without all my sponsors. Marone's Auto, Extreme Complex, everyone that helps me out.
And definitely talk about, we heard Joe mention that almost contact between you and TJ Graves, or more like TJ Graves and you, in the closing laps, getting into your back bumper. We saw that he was trying to get forward on the restarts. Your car looked a little bit stronger, maybe once we got a couple laps on the tires. How did that battle go between you two all night long?
I was getting nervous. He was getting really close in those restarts, and just that one time he got a little too close, and I think he ran into my back bumper and sent himself around.
And definitely you mentioned a strong car, your teammates helping you with the setup. We know that you had a fast car. You came into this race, obviously taking home the victory, qualified P2. You were the second fastest car in the practice session. We know that you didn't just get online today and hop into the A-main. We know that we had qualifying and heat races. How was the night overall for you and your team?
The initial qualifier, I qualified first, so I got a spot free into the A-main, so I didn't have to do much with the B-main, so Mark Arthur would be the one to talk to about that because he had to do the heat race, but I think he qualified right into the A-main too.
So definitely a strong car, and everybody knew it. You weren't trying to hide anything, and you're getting to victory lane. You touched on some of your sponsors. Anybody else you want to thank? Any shout-outs you want to throw? The mic's all yours.
Just shout out to the Sunday Money, CORA. They do a great job putting on a show every week, every Sunday. It's fun racing.
And definitely a strong number 99 is going to get to the victory lane tonight. Congratulations, Garrett, on your victory, and hopefully we'll see you in the weeks coming, and good luck.
Thank you.
Joe Cortez now joining me on the front straightaway. He is alongside our second place finisher, the number 17 of Mark Arthur.
Mark Arthur finishing second in the 17 machine. And let's first talk about the problems you experienced tonight. You got a little bit of electrical problems in that 17 machine, still brought it home in a second place finish. Were you ever worried at any time that the electrical problems would take you out of the race tonight?
Yeah, I was worried the whole time. They was warning me the whole time that I was blinking. I was trying to stay out of everybody's way. I mean, I don't know what they want me to do short of pulling over and pull it in the pits, but I mean, I tried to, when people got to my bumper, move over and let them on by. I know I had some issues, but luckily I had a lot of luck along with the issues and got me up in a second.
Nonetheless, luck was on your side, finishing in the second place position tonight. There was a time you were battling alongside third, fourth. That's when TJ Graves spun out in front of you. How much of a boon was that to your second place finish?
Again, that was a luck issue. Somebody was on my bumper, and I probably would have been right in the middle of that had I not been riding up on the outside, letting them go underneath me. So it just kind of worked out to my favor right there.
That's the first time I've ever heard anybody say these electrical issues have worked out in my favor tonight. Mark, you had some stiff competition from the 83 of Michael Van der Sal behind you. Van der Sal being the top qualifier in the initial qualifying, having a fast car all night. How were you able to hold him off, especially in that last lap where it almost looked like you and him made contact?
Well, from what he's saying, he went into me a little bit there with the electrical issues. Again, sometimes with iRacing, you just don't see it. I mean, I wasn't blinking at all on my screen, blinking on everybody else's. So a lot of times it happens under caution, not under green. I was hoping it would sort itself out, and just so happened right there at the end, it was the worst that it was all night. And I don't know. I mean, I feel for him. I mean, I know his issues. I know when people blink, it's annoying, and but being up there in third spot, starting with like 5 laps to go, I mean, what do you do?
Race it for everything it's worth. Mark Arthur, 4 races to go left in the Sunday Money Series. Will we see you again here on ETV Live?
Yeah, I had some issues, family issues and computer issues that I couldn't race for the whole season, but I'm back now, so I should be racing about every week with Garrett Denton and Bat Motorsports.
Mark Arthur once again in the Bat Motorsports stable, finishing second here tonight at South Boston. Before I let you go, any shout-outs you'd like to give, anything you'd like to offer for our fans, the microphone's all yours.
Pretty much just Garrett Denton. I mean, without him, I would have been junk this week. I mean, he pretty much did most of the work on the setup, and we tweaked it together a little bit here and there. But without him, I mean, I hate these cars. I just don't like these cars. So, I mean, hats off to Garrett.
Mark Arthur with the brutal honesty, finishing second here tonight in South Boston. Congratulations on a big finish. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time when we go racing from Daytona.
10-4, thanks.
Mark Arthur in the 17 machine, finishing second despite his dislike for the Legends car. Evan Pasoko caught up the third place finisher, Michael Van der Sal.
And definitely also here down on the front straightaway, a solid finish for your pole sitter in the 83. First and foremost, Michael, we got to talk to you. We did not see you in our B main. So how did you get your way qualified into the A main?
Qualified second. I worked on my Q set all week and was hoping just to be able to qualify up front and not have to run any of the heats, and it worked out for me.
Now, I'm taking a look at the statistics right here. You were about the 5th fastest car in practice. You go to qualifying, you only get really 2-3 laps at it, and you better your fastest practice time to get the pole. How was that lap there in qualifying, and where did that speed come from?
I got into the practice late, and I was just running my race setup instead of my Q setup, and the race setup gets faster as time goes on. I could have got down to the 4th if it had given me enough time, but I think the practice time I had was a 6, and I was probably like 7 or 8 laps in.
All right, definitely. Now we got to move to the race. Obviously, coming from the pole position, you're going to come away with a 3rd place finish. We saw you hanging out up there in the top 5 for the majority of the night. We also saw a lot of contact on the racetrack. Taking a look through the notes, you managed to keep your nose clean for the night?
Actually, I got I got into TJ when he spun. Kind of knocked my toe out a little bit, but I was kind of just hanging back. I was mirroring their lap times, but I was just afraid of them two getting into each other. They were running really, really close, so I just kind of hung back so I'd miss a wreck, and turns out they end up wrecking right at the beginning of a run, so I got into them a little bit.
And definitely, I'm taking a look on the replay. Obviously, we saw you had a spirited battle for 2nd place as we tried to come to the checkered flag. The 17 of Mark Arthur everywhere but pointed straight, coming to that checkered flag. Did you think you might have been able to get him?
I I'm gonna hold my comments to that. The blinking was kind of an issue, so I'm just gonna hold my comments there. I'm happy with her.
And definitely looking forward. Obviously, in 2 weeks, we're going to be heading to Daytona. And from there on out, are you going to plan to try to make an appearance in those races as well?
Yeah, my work schedule makes me where I can only run every other weekend, so it just depends on what weekends they fall on. I think I'll be in 2 or 3 of them.
And definitely, so how confident are you at a track like Daytona? We have next week off, so in 2 weeks' time we go there, so you should be able to make it if you qualify. Are you comfortable at plate tracks?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite. Watch out for me there.
And definitely, well, top 3 finish, nothing to be ashamed of after 100 solid and hard-fought laps at the South Boston Speedway. Any sponsors, shout-outs, friends watching, anything you want to throw out there? The mic is all yours.
Just my guys at NPR. We worked all week on the setup. And Del Smalley in Dallas, we work pretty close with them. Just thank those guys.
And definitely a solid night out. You're walking away with a top 3 finish. You heard him. Look out for him next week, or in 2 weeks' time, rather, if he gets there to Daytona. He likes that track. Good luck when you get there.
Thank you, sir.
And before we go, let's go ahead and bring in Alan Larson one more time, one of our administrators here at CORA. We saw a lot of crazy racing tonight, but we saw the guys who were able to navigate this track the best were able to get up front and make it work for them, Alan. And those are the guys who are walking away with big money and will have checks of cash tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good race. I really enjoyed watching it.
2 weeks' time, we go to Daytona for what's going to be the last race before the chase for the championship. Lots of fun racing, always fun at Daytona. We're bringing the trucks there, so you're going to have a lot of different drivers who are going to bring a lot of different things to the track and have a lot of fun at that unrestricted restrictor plate race.
Yep, that is definitely true. And you know what? You might even see the 24 truck out there. I'm not positive yet, but I'm thinking very seriously of trying to qualify in for that race. That'll be fun. I'm really good on the plate tracks, and I just recently got myself a new steering wheel, the G27, rather than that old Logitech driving force that I was racing with. I got me a G27 now, so I'm anxious to use it and see if that will improve my luck there at the plate tracks.
You heard it doesn't mention your name, though. Obviously.
You heard it.
Well, you saw me in Border Wars. You saw what happened to me in Border Wars. I got taken out. I pretty much, I won't say I dominated, but I was in the top, 6 the whole race until 8 to go when I got taken out there with just a few laps to go.
We'll hold you to it. We'll be looking for you. I have a G27, but I can't drive for crap. That's why I just talk like I know what I'm talking about. So we'll hold you to it. We'll take a look and see where that 24 car is at Daytona.
Well, what you're really going to have to look for is when we get to Talladega, the last race of the season. That's where I'm going to be strong.
Lot of big talk now coming from Alan Larson. Don't get your resume out yet, buddy. We'll see you on the track in 2 weeks, I'm sure.
All right, guys. You do a wonderful job. I appreciate all you guys do. It's been fun.
That will do it here for us from South Boston. The Hurley Property Management, South Boston 150, finally coming to an end. Garrett Denton walking away with the $50 prize. Mark Arthur, Michael Vandesal, Don Stevenson, Dale Smalley, all walking away with top 5 finishes. Be sure to join us in 2 weeks' time when CORA brings the trucks to Daytona for the Daytona 250. November 24th, it will be the last race before the 3-race chase for the Sunday Money Championship. So on behalf of our entire race crew, our producer and camera operator, Laura Lawson, guest analyst, Alan Larson, my partner in crime, Evan Pasoko, I am Joe Cortez. We will see you in 2 weeks from Daytona. Good night, everybody.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 in the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing.